Hello.
Aaron? Hello.
We straight in?
Yeah, go on.
Let's go. So, what do we want to address now? End of the year?
Yeah.
Next year, 2022, what we hoping for here?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at this year, it was. I mean, the first half of the year it was lockdown, and it was obviously hard to see the bigger fights, but we still did see some decent fights at the beginning of the year. But I think going into this year, we want to see. We'll start with the heavyweight division. We want to see Tyson fight Fury. We want to see
We
him
want
fight.
to see them fights which haven't been happening in the last few years
We
happen
need
this
we
year.
we need to see the use it rematch this year. We
Yep.
need to see
Him and White?
Fury needs. We need to see him in white, don't we? We need to know who's going to win this, and he needs a couple of fights this year, Tyson, to get his almost activity back up because he's not been nowhere near active enough by
What
no
do you
fault of
reckon
his own.
for Joseph Parker this year?
Yeah, Parker. I'm not sure because I think it's obviously big pals with Fury, which is
Yeah.
it's a bit mental that because they could be fighting each other in. That'd be a good fight. I'd love to see that fight. So it's a bit off it,
But
but
I think at the moment they're just training under the same person. It's going quite well.
yeah. I mean, I think he's moved to Markham now, Parker.
Has he?
I think so. Yeah.
God.
So there's obviously the heavyweight division. We need to see Mark Tiffany from some of the big names, especially Joe Joyce as well, who we know is out at the minute with it.
Yeah, Joe Joyce.
I think he's
No,
broke his hand,
has
but
he?
he needs to be active on the back end of the year. Canelo is going to be a funny one because he wiped out the division last year, didn't he? Wiped it out.
Oh, mate, he put that whole division behind him.
Although, surely there's got to be a point where he's almost going to bite off more than he can chew. Surely.
In my opinion, it's going to be hard for him to almost do too much. He seems that good.
He does, but you do seem that you know if it's ifs, but if Canelo could, if Plank could have done an extra round or two, he might have won that fight. He wouldn't have obviously on the judges. They wouldn't have gave it to Plant, but
Yeah, I know what you mean. But
you know what I mean. That you do. Like you don't look at you look at Canelo and you think he is unbelievable, but I do think although this is going to be controversial, but I do think if you look at both what Billy Joe and Plant done, you can see Canelo and he is beatable, but it'll be hard. It will be hard.
What do you think about him moving to cruiserweight?
I'm not sure because I think a big thing with Canelo is his power. His power for the divisions is insane.
Yeah.
He's got that like one shot power, doesn't he? Like
Yeah,
some of Billy
he's
Joe
a very good
Saunders and stuff.
fighter.
But as he moves up the division, his power won't obviously be. What I'm trying to say is his power. He'll be fighting against cruiserweight power and whatnot. It'll be it'll balance out a bit more. So it'd be interesting. But I do think he'll probably wipe out the division like he has.
Listen, I think he's just too good, like for the guy he's fighting. I'm trying to find his name again. Yeah, he's the lad who lost to Tony Bell. Is it still happening, that fight?
Not sure to be fair, but I do think he'll. I don't think cruiserweight's the best division as it is anyway.
Makubu, that's the one.
We're trying to just be kind of now as we look for what next year. Then we're gonna have a look back on the previous year of boxing. You should have maybe done that the other way around, but it doesn't matter. What else do we want to see? Josh Taylor.
Where do you want him to go? Do you want him to go and fight Crawford, or do you want to go see him fight someone like Cambosis?
The thing is, I've been thinking about this one, and I'm still not quite sure what I want to, what I want him, what I'd expect, and what I want him to do next. I don't know.
I think he could beat everyone down in lightweight, and I think he could also possibly beat Crawford or Spence, possibly.
Obviously, what else happened? Oh God. In the lower divisions, Any one particularly you want to speak about?
I mean, I'll have a look through the divisions.
Obviously, obviously coming up this year, Josh Rowanton's got his fight with Kiko signed up and sealed now.
That's an interesting one, and I wouldn't turn Kiko down for that one.
Me neither, because
what he did to, what was he called?
Galahad.
Pardon?
Galahad.
Yeah, and that's the one who Taylor turned down the fight against.
It was that was unbelievable. That, and I know they fought before and that, but it's still interesting because that Lara fight, there's some people who think, oh yeah, Josh was in absolute cruise control, he was going to win the fight, but there's some people who think Josh was going to get beat again looking at the first few rounds of that one. So,
I mean, how many rounds was there? 3? I don't think there was enough for me,
No, but you did do. I'm not sure for that one. I do think they need to do it back for sure. I think Josh.
There needs to be a third one. What happened again? Wasn't there a head clash?
Head clash, but they were both leading in for it all night. It was a shock, to be fair, because that went down as a draw on the record. I thought it'd be no contest, but
do you remember when that happened originally?
Yeah.
Do you remember how mental it was? Because no one had a clue what had just gone on.
But yeah, obviously we're going to talk about fighter of the year, knockout of the year, upset of the year, almost like the hottest prospect we've seen, and almost shock of the year. So,
well, who do you think was fighter of the year? I know
fighter of the year for me. There's only one name, Jip. I'm not Canelo Alvarez. It has to be.
Yeah, no, there's no one stopping that.
There's no way. I mean, don't get me wrong. There'll be some people in the lower divisions who maybe fought, 10 times a year, had 10 first-round knockouts. But for the big names at the big stage, it has to be Canelo Alvarez, surely.
And to have, 4 fights in a year and just blow them out the water is just so impressive.
Yeah, definitely. Big fights against big people, champions, big names.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to have a look at his year here because I've already... He started the year with a big win over... Well, I mean, it wasn't this year, but it was the end of last year. It was literally about a year ago. Do you remember when he beat Callum Smith?
That was it, yeah.
That was last December, but I'll put it in this year. Yeah. Then he had that weird fight with Yildirim.
Yeah.
Where he just wiped him out of the park. Then Billy Joe Saunders, then Caleb Plant. A very good year.
A very good year for Canelo, and he's really boosted his name as well, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah. I feel like that was the proper year for him.
Right. Knockout of the year. This is a controversial one.
Can I put occasion into it?
Well, because if you look at it, there's Conor Benn's knockout.
That was dirty, but...
That was a filthy knockout, that one. There's Kiko's knockout.
Yep.
That was... I think the shock more than anything for that one.
Pardon?
They've obviously... if we're talking clean knockouts, Lara Josh Rowanton's not on it, because that was almost... He beat him up mentally and physically through the fight and knocked him out.
Yeah.
You have to even question Jake Paul Woodley.
I'm not putting that as boxing.
That was the fight was absolutely awful, but that knockout alone was...
It was a good knockout, but sadly he's not getting it for me.
It's a weird way to look at that one because the stage was massive. It was a big stage. That he's pulled the knockout beautifully. The way it's faked, he's made everything look like he's gone to the body. He's pulled it up. He's put him to sleep. No doubt about it. He's put him to sleep. But if you just look at the rest of the fight, you don't want to give knockout of the year with that, do you?
No, because I just feel like it was coming all night.
Yeah, but if you look at it from this way, if that was Canelo Alvarez against Billy Joe Saunders, would you think that was knockout of the year? Because
but Tyron Woodley's and Billy Joe Saunders. If it was a higher caliber opponent, if he did that to someone like Tommy Fury, which I'm not saying is much better, but he's probably improved on him. Then
but then if you look at it, that Woodley lad, he wasn't known for getting knocked out like that in the UFC.
No, he wasn't. He was a hard bastard.
The way he went down face first, I mean, I don't know.
For me, right, if we're going, I just want to say on occasion.
Yeah.
In a clean little left hook, right hook, Fury's knockout was massive.
Yeah, but for me, the difference with that was he beat him up over the night. He mentally
Could we put that down as fight of the year then?
Yeah, we'll go down to fight of the year next. But for knockout of the year,
I'm gonna go Keiko's.
There was that other lad. I can't remember what he's called, but his knockout was clean knockout.
What division does he fight in?
I don't know. I've just seen it shared around when Jake Paul won knockout of the year.
How's he won knockout of the year?
For me, it's a tough one. I think I'm leaning towards Conor Benn.
That was also very good.
Because there's no doubt about it, Conor Benn put him to sleep as well.
Yeah.
For me, the Keiko one was a big knockout, but yeah.
I'm just checking that Keiko one back because it was
for me. It is between Ben and Paul. It sounds awful, but the way he put him to sleep. Good night. That was filthy.
I'm just watching the Keiko one back now, and it's just the way they go back to fight, and Keiko steps in and then lands a big yeah, Keiko's got it for me there.
For me, I'm not going to give it to Paul simply because the fact that we'd lose about 50 subs. We don't even have 50 subs to lose, but we'd lose. Everyone's off if it goes to Paul. For me,
yeah, go Ben. I think Ben's a good safe option.
Conor Benn is getting my knockout of the year.
Fight of the year?
For the quality standard, certainly not Tyson Fury Wilder, because the standard of that fight for a champion fight, for someone who's meant to box beautifully if to do as Tyson, was...
But come on, let's be honest, you can't box beautifully.
For standard, it was a bit of a stinker, but for entertainment and the almost wow factor
and the stake
and bollocks, Tyson Fury Wilder.
Good, I'm happy you agree.
It has to be. There's some other good ones up there though.
Yeah, but it'd been a while since that fight had happened as well, and we didn't know because Wilder came in seeming like a bit of a different person.
For me, the way Wilder outboxed Fury the first round was what shocked me, that fight as well. The way he took centre ring and them jabs to the belly.
Was that the fight he did loads of jabs to the body for the first couple of rounds?
And then he
just stopped, didn't he?
Yeah, but for them first round, there's no debate. He did throw Tyson off a bit.
Yeah.
Right. So we've done knockout of the year, fight of the year.
How do you fancy doing like prospect, like upcomer? Because for me, someone who does deserve this.
Yeah.
And he started the year well known for his dad's name, but this year he's really stepped up his caliber of opponents. He's got knockout of the year from you.
Conor Benn.
Conor Benn has had a very good year.
He has been almost like insane this year.
Because he stepped up in opponents.
Definitely.
Like, he started last year. We'll just go off like a bit of last year. Sebastian Formella. Then he did that. Then he knocked out Vargas, didn't he? Very quickly.
Yeah.
Then he got the unanimous decision over Granados. Then knocked out Chris Algieri. For
me, with him now, he's a household name as well. He's a big name, and he's not almost his dad's son anymore.
No, he's not.
He's Conor Benn, and everyone knows.
And I think a fight against Adrian Broner would be massive in England and the US.
Definitely.
Who was your prospect of the year, Vic?
Well, there's Conor Benn. Dennis McCann's up there for me. I think he's looked very, very good this year, actually.
He has, yeah, that's a good call.
In terms of ability, it's got to be one of them. In terms of who stole the show, I think not as much this year, but over the last, say, since about 20, since the Usyk fight, I think David Chizora's had a good year. He's obviously not won, so he's not getting it in terms of ability because he's not won, but in terms of making a lot of money in the sport.
Yeah.
Usyk again, he's not a prospect though, Usyk, but I do believe he has almost gained everyone's respect now the way he handled Joshua.
Yeah, he could be in there he's only fought once, but it was a big upset.
There was obviously, for me, prospect of the year, we're going to keep it. And between Dennis McCann, Conor Benn, there's a couple of them up there, but I'm leaning towards Conor Benn because...
What about Campbell Hatton?
No.
Joking.
That's another one we can do. We've just thought of it there. So is Conor Benn getting that reward for us both there?
Yeah, because he's shown up a bit more this year.
We should have been a bit more organised for this, but we're not. We don't have time.
No, because I've
robbery
just
of the
pulled up
year.
a boxing award thing. I'm just reading things out.
Robbery of the year. This, if we do this as an award, I don't know, but it has to go to Campbell Hatton, doesn't it?
Oh, which one?
Joshua Young undercard. Was it Martinez he was fighting?
Yeah. But I've also got another one. David Adelaide versus Sokolovsky. He got beat there. 5.
Yeah, David Adelaide lost that one as well.
Yeah, I feel like that was a robbery though.
Yeah, but I feel like the Campbell Hatton one. There's no way. I was at the fight and there was a boxing, like a boxing purist. He didn't take his eyes off the ring for the full fight.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know how he could see it, but he was just staring at it, and I kind of looked over at him at the end, hoping he'd say something, and he was like, yeah, he didn't win a round there.
Who said that?
This lad who just meant to be, you could just tell he knows boxing from just looking at him, you know what I mean?
I feel like Campbell Hatton got a good knockout towards the end. Yeah, I obviously watch it.
I'm so happy that because I think he needed a knockout.
Yeah, he did.
I think he was getting a bit hungry. He was looking fit and coming off a bad fight like that. Make no mistake, that was a stinker. Coming off something like that. If you look at it with Campbell Hatton, he hasn't fought bums, has he? Like some of these opponents,
they've not been bad. But
disrespect, but some of the opponents Tommy Fury's fought, Campbell Hatton. I mean, Fury's upped him now, but considering it's his first year, he is a very, very young lad.
He's done well as well to get 5 fights in this year. I think he needs another 5 next year.
I don't think he'll get 5 next year. I think it'll be 3 or 4 next year.
Well, you got to remember though, he did start a bit late this year. He started on the 27th bill, which was was the Povetkin Dillian White bill.
Yeah, and I've thought about Hatton, and I still think the same. I think he's going to lose a couple of times. I think it's that fight. It's kind of going to be a knock him out, or I'll get knocked out myself, or I'll get disappointed. Because I mean, there's still years and years of improvement to do. But I do think in the next couple of years he might have maybe he's overcome his scare that went in that Tottenham Hotspur fight. But I do think.
I think that was an unreal card now we look back at it, by the way. So we had Campbell Hatton kicking it off. Then we had Kane Baker versus, I don't know how to say his name. I don't know who they were. Fabio Wardley versus Eric Molina. Then we had Nick Webb back. Michael McKinson, Chris Congo. Then there was Cheeseman Metcalf, which was an absolute
just for the white card?
Yeah, and then Povetkin White.
Yeah.
If you know Ted Cheeseman, whenever he's on the telly, he is so entertaining.
I know.
He's mental, but he's entertaining.
Well, now this is a bit of a reward you won't want to win, but disappointment of the year and event of the year. Let's do these final 2.
Disappointment of the year, like someone who I expected to do more.
Yeah, who's let you down this year? And you can't say Campbell Hatton.
No, I wouldn't. Anthony Joshua's going to be up there. By the way, someone else who's had an unreal year. I'm sorry I'm going on from these tangents. Lawrence Okoli.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at disappointment of the year, is there anyone who's crying out for you? You thought maybe he's been beat and whatnot?
Oh, I think Joshua was a bit of a letdown.
It was, but he was fighting a fucking good fighter, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I thought he could have. I know he knocked Pulev out, but he still looked too stiff there.
That was, yeah, I know what I mean.
Does
that lad obviously is Ryland Charlton? Could he be up there?
Yes, because he came off last year after beating what's he called, the Geordie, Joe Laws, and then just completely got smashed about this year.
Yeah, he could definitely be up there. There's Povetkin, obviously.
Yeah, but I think he was just old, wasn't he?
Yeah. You can't throw Cesaro in there because he's been too hard.
He's been entertainment.
Anyone else obvious and missing? Obviously, you could say fucking Tyron Woodley.
I feel like I'm missing someone, but I can't think of them.
I feel like there's someone who's been a major letdown, or we wouldn't say they've been the worst fighter of the year, but some we expected high thing from, and they've just not delivered.
I'm gonna have a search. Who was like the worst?
Is there anyone that going into this year you thought you can't wait to see him for whatever reason they've not really hit the ground?
Ryland Charlton.
What?
Ryland Charlton.
Is he up there for you?
I was really thinking, if he beats Florian Marco, then he's doing well, but he's just not quite done it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think, but I can't think of anyone who's been a major letdown.
Ryan Garcia, maybe, because he hasn't fought enough.
Yeah.
He started the year with that nice big win against, Luke Campbell? Yeah, it's Luke Campbell, isn't it?
I tell you who's getting it for me, Floyd Mayweather. Fucking...
Oh, no, he done his legacy in for me a bit there, like...
He did.
Yeah, I'm going to say Ryan Garcia for just being inactive and Ryland Charlton a bit.
I think I'm leaning towards Ryland Charlton.
Yeah, but you got to remember Ryan Garcia. I don't like Ryan Garcia, but he had that many fights lined up he could have had, and he's just done none of them.
Yeah, in one aspect, I this isn't my opinion, but I was seeing it somewhere on Twitter, and it made me think. Someone said Tyson Fury.
Yeah, he could have fought more. And
not only that, apparently we obviously know this. John says a lot, and apparently, what is it? Is it something he's got in his hand now, or something? That's a lot of boxers get obviously later on in the career where will slow them down, stiffen them up, or something.
He probably does because he's.
I can't say what it is because I've heard about it, but I've not really looked at properly. And you did look at that Wilder fight then. If you're going from last year to this year, he looked more beatable.
Yeah, but
that said, it was a fucking big win. He was coming off everything that went on with his newborn baby, yeah, and all that. It was a marvelous win. But if you're looking at the stakes of technically, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't look great. So I think the next fight for Tyson is important because we want, as much as we're seeing this knockout ability and this lethal big gypsy slayer, and that's meant to see. We do want to see him go back to. We do want to see that
boxer.
Almost what we've seen versus Tom Schwartz. He knocked him out early on, and the head movement there was unbelievable.
I want to say someone else as well. We were teased with the Joshua fight and everything, and it just never materialised.
Yeah.
Because of what?
Also, I've just had a thought there in my head for someone I really wanted to say this year, but
yeah.
Who was it? Something's gone out my head and I really wanted to say it.
Got it back?
No.
Yeah, well, we'll move on. What was the next one category you wanted to do?
I think we've done them all, have we? We've done knockout, we've done robbery.
Knockout, fight.
Upset of the year.
Ooh.
I think that's Kiko for me.
Oh, yeah, Kiko Martinez.
I think it has to be.
Should we do women's boxer of the year?
Go on.
I'm going to go Savannah Marshall.
Definitely up there.
Katie Taylor, by the way, is sadly falling down slowly.
We've got Katie. There's this obviously big fight with Katie Taylor and is it Shavano, the one who signed up for Jake Paul?
Yeah, that's the one I'm pretty sure.
For me, Katie Taylor, this has got if you're an Irish listener, go off now. But I think Katie Taylor's a bit overrated. I think what I've watched her. I think Jonas. I haven't watched it since, but I scored that a draw. If not, maybe Kate Taylor by a round or two. But she's not. She's looked beatable, and I think she's almost from what she was. She hasn't.
Yes, but I think she's just a bit past it now. I think this next fight she will actually lose it. And I also thought, I think Jonas, she took it by a round, but Bassoon first time, she lost that one.
Definitely. She's fallen off a bit, isn't she?
But yeah, I think this is the demise of Katie Taylor. But what she's done for women's boxing is very good, though.
Yeah.
I think we've done all the categories. I'll double check.
Another couple of things I'm going to just go over for the next minute or so. Just little points. Big internet star Vidal Riley has obviously got his fight signed on the bloody Amir card.
Spots. Yep.
That I mean, for me personally, he's not going to make it to a world champion. Quote me, if he is, fair play. He seems a nice lad, but I think he's had too much time out in his early stage of his career. He'll really need to have a lot of fights this year to make it big. No offense, all these you know,
I mean,
big
I
fans.
don't think he'll be a world champion. I think he'll be, in between like European and British.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he'll be, because he's looked all right. He's only 24 still.
He needs to fight a lot this year, though. He has to fight a lot.
Yeah,
this
he needs 4 or 5. I think 4 fights.
year.
Fraser Clark's making his debut on that as well. The bloke who was in the Olympics for us.
I think Alan Babic looked as beatable as ever in his last fight.
Yeah, I don't rate Alan Babic.
He don't get me wrong, he's an entertainer, but he looked very beatable. Obviously, it was a shame to see Cullen go out the way he did, but
Who?
Cullen.
Jack Cullen. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Funny one.
It's White Fury looks like White could be getting 20% instead of
20
instead of the 30% he was wanting. And yeah, I also want to know what's happening with. I don't want to keep bringing these up, but I'm not talking about with Tommy Fury now. Because
where does he
a
go?
lot of people have lost a bit of respect for him after pulling out. I'm not going to talk about if he should have pulled out or he shouldn't. That's personally, I'm not bothered. If I'm not really asked, to be fair, but
doesn't particularly bother me, no.
I do think he has lost quite a bit of respect off people.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I don't think Tyson done him any favors. Like,
I think being told you're going to get cut from your family is not very nice either.
Yeah, I do think his head must be all over the place with the burglary and now obviously everything that's happening with bloody Molly May and whatnot. So, be interesting to see what's next for him. And yeah, hope you had a good New Year. And I'm off.
One last thing, I'll tell you someone who else has had an unreal year. Sonny Edwards.
Yep.
Fought twice, won a championship, and then put an unreal performance on. But that was my last part on this. So. Thanks for all watching the podcast. I hope you all had a great.
Thanks for the support on the last 2 videos, by the way.
Oh, they've done absolutely immense. So thank you all for that. And yeah, guess we'll see you when we do.